Pleasure.
Eric.
Pleasure.
This is our team from Delport.
Morning.
Morning.
Mignoni, Delco Sales. Anthony Sun, Delco Sales.
Alexis Galazek, Delco.
Kenneth, HBS.
Okay. And then for facility-wise, I'm Eric Rocha. I'm just an intern, but here to learn. I got David here, D-Wag. He's my electrical shop supervisor. We were trying to get our plumbing guys on site, but they're busy tackling stuff in the hospital. So talk to us like we don't know anything because this is not our expertise, but we're here to ask you guys questions a lot.
Okay, so also Kenneth is our service plumber. We'll be dealing with warranty knickknacks moving forward once this building's finished.
Okay.
So I think everybody has his point of contact.
Not yet.
Kenneth is allocated to any warranty or service once new construction guys exit the premises.
That'll be an ornament? Okay.
Yeah. So Sam, if you could give him an introduction all the way up to the system and what its functions are.
So this line is a winning copper line. It supplies the RO system. It is an independent line. This is what shuts it on and off. You have a regulator to bring it down to the required pressure, and then it goes into the skin, which controls all the functions to the RO system. That's the holding tank. When the equipment asks for water, this pump kicks on, and it goes through the CPVC, and it goes up all the way across, and it supplies that boiler. You guys want to take a look at it. And the sole function for this is to supply clean water to the boiler.
When you say boiler, you're talking about the steam generator?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So in summary, you got something coming. You got cold water.
Cold water coming in.
Domestic
water.
Soft water.
Soft water. Okay. Cool. So soft water coming in from the tunnel that you got tapped in, goes right into this system with the regulator, and then it goes into the holding tank, which is that bad boy there. So when the boiler, the steam generator requests for clean water,
Makeup water.
that pump itself will trigger, and we'll go from there. Cool.
Then we'll let you guys kind of explain the nuts and bolts of your system.
I understand you have your regulator that comes into your pre-filter. The minimum PSIG should be about 20. I think right now you guys, it's set around 80 PSIG right now. It's gonna go to the pre-filter, then it'll come into the low water cutoff and to the open switch, which will then tell this is your RO pump, which will take it to the RO pump. When this kicks on, this will feed into the membranes. Each membrane is a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, all the way down. It'll then feed back into the tank as it calls for water to recycle itself or regenerate. And then we have our product flow, our rejection flow, and our recycle flow. The product flow is going to read on the gallons, and then the rejection flow is going to read on the gallons per minute. And then we have here, which is our reverse osmosis controller, and this is going to control what's going on with the tanks. It's going to know what your TDS is and your PPMs are. It'll also control a manual flush and run. So if you felt that your system hasn't been running properly or correctly, if you haven't seen it flush itself in a while, you feel that that tank hasn't moved, you can automatically flush the system just by simply clicking that manual run and flush. In order to access this panel to get in to see what your TDSs and your PPMs are, you would go ahead and hold down up and down arrows and system on and off at the same time. Once you've clicked it, it'll then unlock it and allow you to operate in the system. We can demonstrate it. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on and off, and we'll click system. As we have done that, you can go ahead and take your arrows and go through the menu. It'll go through the menu of alarm, what has happened to the system. Did we have a fault on the pump? Is the the diaphragm clogged, it'll give you a full breakdown of what's going on with this system.
It's a pressure switch issue. And keep in mind too, it'll also let you know from the main screen if there is a problem, which is good. You know, so
Is it audio or just visual?
It's visual. It's just visual, but it also adds a temperature probe as well, so it'll let you know if it exceeded a higher temperature. It does have an audible alarm, so if the float fails and the float is not kicking on correctly and the water is empty below a certain level, does not fill, this will then set an alarm off.
So when you say set alarm, where does it go? Just here, or
It'll just make an alarm, like a little
Okay.
beep, like beep, beep,
Okay.
something's wrong, and it'll indicate an alarm system.
so this doesn't tie to a BMS system, or
This one, I don't know if they tied this one to a BMS system. Don't think they did
okay.
on this one.
that might be a question for.
But we'll find out for you to see
Yeah.
exactly if they tied it in or not. And again, this is just going to tell you on the signal loss. So I'm assuming it is tied into the BMS system because it says loss of signals 3 times. So it lost its signal 3 times.
Okay.
Not allowing it to be tied into the BMS system because that's what it's telling it. It's loss of signal.
Okay.
Again, like I said, it's going to tell you your perimeter probe, which is a 16 ppm, and then what your TDS is. You never have to edit or touch this. It's all pre-programmed and preset for you guys.
Okay.
And then that would be it for this menu. Other than the brightness on the screen, it's going to tell you what contrast you want and language. So if you want to set the language, English obviously is going to be set to right now, and the date. It'll give you the date as well.
Does it record any logs or anything, or
It'll record it, so what's going on with the system,
Okay. The
it'll
history.
save it. It'll save
yeah,
the
that,
history.
okay, good.
Correct.
What's the timeline of the history? How long does it record for? Is it a
Um,
month worth of history?
It'll hold up, yeah, approximately about a month of history. And then to get back to your system to make sure that it's safe and nobody touches it, you're gonna go ahead and just click on and off button again.
Takes you
That'll
to
take
the
it
main
back
menu,
to,
the main
and
screen.
nobody can play with your system. And then I don't even think we can manually flush it without doing that, but yeah, I guess you can. So you'll be able to manually flush just by clicking that flush button. So right here, it's gonna
That
manually
countdown.
run and it'll do its countdown. It had a pump delay, so the delay went down. So it shows that it was a low pressure run. So in 58 seconds it'll run again as well. So as it runs its system,